This is Brian Beddow from the Hawk Mountain Council. I'm a field director, and today we're continuing our program, Prepared for Life. And today with me I have Vaughn Golden from Troop 241. Vaughn, can you tell us today how you got involved in Scouts?
Well, many years ago, probably about 12 years ago at this point, I was walking into school one day and they funneled us into the cafeteria, and some local scouters came in and gave a presentation to all the kids in my grade, probably second or first grade at the time, and they presented all the scouting opportunities that were available. And so it followed through in a few weeks. I got signed up for a Cub Scout pack. It was pack 264 at the time, and I continued on through Cub Scouting and then eventually moved up into Boy Scouting. And here I am today, an Assistant Scoutmaster in Troop 241, where I have aged out officially as a youth. However, I still come back and I still serve the other youth that are still in the program.
Okay, so you're an adult volunteer with your troop?
Correct.
Okay. So over the course of that time, going from Cub Scouts to Boy Scouts to an adult leader now, what are some of the highlights of your career that's kept you in the program?
There's a ton of highlights. Not just you can easily say the skills I've learned, the leadership I've been able to practice within the troop level, but just all the awesome experiences. The BSA, Boy Scouts of America, owns a few properties called National High Adventure Bases. One is Northern Tier, which is in the boundary waters of Minnesota. There's Philmont Scout Ranch, which is in New Mexico, and Florida Sea Base. I had the unique opportunity that I was able to participate in all these. So from 12-day backpacking trips to canoe trips in Minnesota, it was extremely empowering to be able to go on these awesome adventures. So that took up a huge portion of interest within scouting, but apart from that, there's so many other opportunities to get involved with. I served as a youth leader within my troop, so I oversaw some of the youth functions that were going on, just planning for trips, other events, and that just kind of taught me some general leadership skills that going into other practices that I've been able to implement. So that was extremely key. And also, these days I serve in the Order of the Arrow, which is Scouting's National Honor Society, and I've been able to find opportunities all over the region and the country with that as well.
Outstanding. Are there any experiences in attending one of those three high adventure camps or programs that you've brought back and applied in real life?
Absolutely. Philmont, New Mexico, which was the 12-day backpacking trek. I was with a group of guys, I think there were 12 of us, and let me tell you, I've never had a closer bond between friends like we've had. That was in 2013, and even today, there are some of us, one of our guys lives in Texas, and we're all off and going to college and whatnot. We're still together, and whenever you unite us, we're still telling Philmont stories. So that general fun and demeanor, and let me tell you, we were in some pretty scary situations, thunderstorms on high peaks and dehydrating, going on long hikes, and we were in some pretty iffy situations. However, the cool thing was we were all functioning so well together that it didn't matter. We were all having a good time nonetheless, and we were able to push through just because we were able to implement that with each other.
Outstanding. And your preparation for those activities and those trips, is there anything that stood out as far as maybe, did you raise your own funds to pay for those trips?
Yes, for a lot of those trips, we did do some fundraising within Scouts. The Camp Master popcorn sale is always a huge thing for our troop, as well as we would have car washes and found other opportunities to raise some funds.
Okay.
So whenever you see us out there, always stop by.
So you learned some budgeting skills
Absolutely.
in doing that, and we're able to set financial plans as well.
And another huge part of that is we've gone on some trips. We went to the Adirondacks a few years ago, which was completely on our own planning. And so we had to budget for food. We had to go shopping for all that food and manage all that as well. So just little things like that always come back, and they always serve you well when I'm just trying to eat dinner on a Thursday night.
Right. So you're off at college right now, budgeting your money, and they have I suspect maybe a better understanding of that as some of your other classmates.
Yes.
Okay. With that, do you see yourself going to any one of those camps as an older adult, maybe with kids of your own?
I would love to. I beg and yearn for the opportunity to go back to any of those camps. So absolutely.
Okay. With it, what do you see as some of the outcomes of scouting?
Well, you get out of scouting what you put into it. You can go into the program and just have a good time, which is completely and utterly fine. You will get things out of that you wouldn't expect to get out of it. Just going through the program is bound to leave you with more leadership opportunities and definitely a boost in confidence that you hadn't before. I put a lot of time into the program, so I was able to get a ton more out of it. Back to the Order of the Arrow, which is where I currently spend most of my time. I've met contacts, networking was a huge part of that. I have contacts all over the country in the Northeast region that I'm able to talk to, moving into my professional career, and more skills like that are almost unseen from a 13-year-old going into the organization, now as an 18 going on 19-year-old going into the professional world, what you're able to get out of that.
Right. In the last 12 to 24 months, how many volunteer hours, community service hours, do you believe you've given back through the Order of the Arrow?
Oh, I can't begin to say. It's a weekly thing. Some weeks I'm spending 2-3 hours a night. Some weeks I'm, maybe an hour or two every other day. So.
Are there any particular service projects that stand out that you've done with the Order of the Arrow?
Mm-hmm. Recently, we make a lot of additions to Hawk Mountain Scout Reservation, which is our local Boy Scout camp. And we've been helping with building pavilions, and we always help with the camp setup every year. So whenever all the scouts come in during the summer, all the tents that have to get set up, all the other just small things that go on up there that nobody sees is usually us behind that.
Right, and the staff at camp are greatly appreciative of that, because the volunteer service that the Order of the Arrow provides means that others don't have to carry that heavy burden and load, and I use that expression because the tents are pretty heavy and the supports for that with that. In beginning to wrap up and closing, any last thoughts that you'd like to share with anybody today?
Well, one thing I always tell to new scouters, people that are potentially bringing their kids into the program or a little shaky, I never was a scout, I don't know any scouts, I don't really understand the program, I would say just try it. Scouting isn't always for everyone, but everyone can get something out of scouting if they put into it. So I would say try it for a few years and maybe try a few different troops or Cub Scouts or programs and see what you get out of it, because I've met all kinds of different people from all walks of life, from all over the country that have been able to get something out of scouting. So definitely try it out and spend some time in the organization.
Is it fair to say that you've created a lot of great memories inside of your own family as well?
Absolutely. The rest of my family was one of those families that was never exposed to scouting, and now we're kind of close-knit, and we have a lot of good stories to tell. We have good friends within family and family that we're able to make memories.
So great memories with your family. Mm-hmm. You've made a lot of new friends that you've maintained contacts with. You've got some relationships around the country that may benefit at some point in time as you further your education and or your career. And so we appreciate you sharing your stories today, and it sounds
Thank
like you've had a great experience.
Yes, it has.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Check in again next week for another edition on our Hawk Mountain Scout Council Prepared for Life series. For more information, visit our website, hmc-bsa.org, or call us at 610-926-3406. You can also find us on the People Chronicles YouTube channel.